All right, this is gonna be kind of a weird one, but just go with it because it can actually be very useful and there's science behind it. I'm gonna teach a technique that's called alternating nasal breathing. And as I mentioned in previous videos, there's a lot of benefits to nasal breathing. That's just how we're designed. We're designed to inhale through our nose for sure, never inhale through our mouth. We can if we have to, but it's not a preferred method of respiration. And the benefits to alternating nasal breathing, where you're, I'll teach you the technique in a second, but where you're basically inhaling through one nostril, exhaling through the other nostril, and then repeating on the other side. While it seems weird and it definitely involves respiration in your lungs and your cardiorespiratory system, it's also a direct impact to your neurology because your left nostril is tied to your right hemisphere. Your right nostril is tied to your left hemisphere. As you take in air into your left nostril, you're actually feeding directly with the oxygen into your right hemisphere. So you're activating your right hemisphere. Interesting thing about that is that our left nostril and our right hemisphere is actually involved in what's called our parasympathetic nervous system state. And this is also called the rest and digest nervous system, because the parasympathetic nervous system is what is active when we're resting, like relaxing, we're sleeping, we're meditating, your digestion. So anytime you're eating, if you're relaxed, your digestive system's on, your parasympathetic nervous system is involved in that process. The opposite of that, which would be your right nostril and your left hemisphere, that's actually involved in your sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is the fight or flight, which everybody has heard of. That's the one where you're ready for action. It's activated when you're stressed or when you're about to do something, very physically demanding. And we need alternation between those two modes, those two nervous system modes. You don't always want to be on a fight or flight nervous system because you're going to get burned out. All of the neurochemicals and hormones that are involved in the sympathetic nervous system need a break. That system is never meant to be on all the time. And unfortunately, a lot of time these days, we're hyper stressed, we're not sleeping enough, we're not getting enough parasympathetic activity because we're stressed in the car, we're stressed at work, we're not recovering well. So that sympathetic nervous system is basically always on. Not a good thing. You got to shift into your parasympathetic nervous system to give that part of your brain and body a break. And like I said, your left nostril and your right hemisphere is your parasympathetic nervous system. It's kind of a basic way of looking at it, but just know that those things are connected. So the reason why you want to be able to inhale and exhale evenly throughout both nostrils is because then you're able to shift between the hemispheres and those types of nervous systems. If you have any kind of blockage in one or the other nasal sinus, you're probably going to have activation problems in your hemisphere, in your left or right hemisphere. But why you would want to inhale into one nostril, exhale out the other, because that actually helps, I guess you can say, cycle down the other nervous system. So I'm probably getting way too technical here. Most people are not interested in the science of it like I am, so I'm just going to teach the technique. So to start, you're going to close off your right nostril. So you basically find like that bony ridge, press gently into it, and then inhale into your left nostril. My left nostril is a little congested right now. Inhale into your left nostril fully and completely without using your neck. Pause for 5 seconds, so you're holding your breath. Then close off your left nostril, breathe out through your right, fully and completely. Then you're going to hold your left nostril, inhale into your right nostril, pause for 5 seconds, block off the right, exhale from your left nostril. So you may notice that it feels pretty uneven between those two sides, and that's actually kind of normal. We go through a nasal cycle throughout the day where our left nasal passage will be naturally congested a little bit. Our right nasal passage will be more open. Then either 20 minutes to up to 2 hours, that will flip, and your right nasal sinus will start to become congested, and your left nasal sinus should be more open. What this does, it just kind of helps activate that natural cycle. Sometimes we get stuck too much into one nostril or the other, and like I said before, that starts to inhibit one of your hemispheres and overactivate the other hemisphere. And if we don't have good balancing or alternation between those two sides, it can create a lot of problems: stress, anxiety, breathing problems, obviously, even muscle tension, especially around your neck and shoulders. But I'll write down the instructions in the video in case you forget. It's kind of weird, but try that. You go through one cycle of inhale, exhale, that's one cycle. You're going to do that 6 times. So again, I'll put the instructions in the video so you don't have to worry about remembering that, but try that at home. Try it a couple of days and see if you notice any difference in how you feel. Take care, y'all.